Let's begin with a simple truth. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And in an interview, those first few minutes can shape the tone of the entire conversation. But if you're like many candidates that I work with, especially non-native English speakers, those first minutes also bring the most anxiety. You might be thinking, what if I forget a word? What if my grammar is off? What if I don't sound fluent enough? And I want to pause you right there in your thinking. Because while those thoughts are common, they're often focused on the wrong idea. Stop trying to improve your English before an interview and focus instead on crafting your communication strategy. Believe it or not, but in my experience working with non-native English speakers preparing for important interviews, I've learned a truly compelling message can resonate with an interviewer even through imperfect English. Most candidates believe the purpose of an interview is to sell themselves, to perform, to impress, but I want to invite you to see it differently. After all, you're not a product. You are a professional. And your job in the interview is not to perform, it's to communicate. Let me offer a reframe I share often in coaching sessions. The interview isn't a performance, it's an investigation. The interviewer isn't a customer deciding whether or not to buy you. They're a detective, investigating evidence, evaluating, deciding whether to make an investment and whether your investment would generate a likely return on investment. So what's your role? To provide clear, strategic, compelling evidence that shows your value so that the person sitting across from you or on the other side of the screen can make an informed decision. This is not a pitch. It's not about trying to dazzle the interviewer, and it's certainly not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. When a company interviews you, they're investing time, resources, and people into the process. Why? Because hiring is expensive and risky. It's an investment, not a purchase. The salary they'll offer you, the time they'll invest in onboarding and training, these are real costs. So the interview is part of a careful process of due diligence before making an investment. They're asking, investigating, can this person do the job? Will they work well with the team? Are they aligned with our values, goals, our way of thinking? So that means it's your job in the moment of the interview not to entertain or impress or outperform. Your job is to speak clearly, to demonstrate alignment, to show, not to tell, your relevant and transferable skills, and to guide the interviewer towards seeing you as a logical, valuable addition to the team. And here's the good news. Almost always, that has nothing to do with speaking perfect English. You don't need to sound perfect. You need to sound clear, confident, aligned. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. If you've been focusing all your energy on grammar, on vocabulary, fluency, pause. Instead, ask yourself, what's the story I'm trying to tell in my interview? What is the evidence that I want to share, and what impact do I want to leave with the interviewer? Start preparing from that place, because when you approach your interview with strategy, not performance, you begin to sound like the kind of candidate every team truly wants. Someone prepared, someone intentional, someone who belongs. If this message resonates with you, if it helps you breathe a little bit easier, go ahead and tap like so I know it's landing. And feel free to subscribe, not because you have to, but because we're building something together here, and I would love for you to be a part of this thoughtful and real process of interview preparation and career reflection.